Good day to everyone. I hope you're all safe. This is Dr. Marilyn Verondon, and I would like to discuss with you about moral dilemma. Now, this lesson concerned with studying the essential concept of moral dilemma, designed to help students to explain the importance of considering ethical rules and reasoning in making the right decisions. The discussion and the learning activities equipped with this lesson would benefit students to develop critical thinking and problem-solving skills. After successful completion of the lesson, the students will be able to first explain the essential concept of moral dilemma. Second, write a reflective journal about the personal experience of a moral dilemma. And third, appreciate ethical principles concerning moral dilemma by doing the case studies in this lesson. Now let's study about moral dilemma. A moral dilemma is a conflict of morals that the decision maker is needed to choose between two or more options, but can only take one of them. For instance, a person has to choose between saving a girlfriend or a mother from a disastrous flood. It is hard to decide since both of them are related to him. Concisely, a moral dilemma is a decision-making problem between two moral obligations. The decision maker chooses one despite that would result in transgressing another. Let's study the case of Angela. Angela is a Christian and considers killing is wrong. Unfortunately, she's having an ectopic pregnancy that the fetus does not develop in the uterus. Therefore, if Angela continues with her pregnancy, there is a possibility that she will die. Angela is facing two conflicting choices. Either she takes abortion, which will save her life, but at the same time compromises her moral integrity, or does not resort to abortion but endanger her life as well as the fetus. To complete the story, Angela decided to abort her baby and chose to live. Karen Allen emphasized three conditions must be present for a situation to consider an ethical dilemma. The first condition happens when a person needs to make a decision about which move or action is best. But if the situation does not require a choice for the agent, or there's no choice in the matter, it is not an ethical dilemma because there's no ethical violation for that situation. In the second condition, there must be different ways of action to choose from a situation. The third condition, there is no perfect solution to this situation because some ethical principle is compromised. In other words, by taking one of the possible moral obligations, the person also fails on others. Here are the types of moral dilemma: epistemic and ontological dilemma, self-imposed and word-imposed dilemma, obligation dilemma and prohibition dilemma, single agent and multi-person dilemma. Now let's study each type of moral dilemma. Epistemic dilemma, the moral agent here needs fuller understanding or knowledge before he decides to select the morally right one. For instance, Arlene wants to buy a new dress. Despite that she has a lot of new clothes that she never wore, at the same time, her sister needs financial help for medicine. Now, Arlene has two options: whether she will buy a new dress that she desires or give the money to her sister. Which one is morally right in this situation? Ontological dilemma, on the other hand, involves a condition wherein two or more moral obligations conflict with each other, yet neither of these conflicting moral obligations disregards each other. The moral agent here can hardly choose between conflicting moral obligations. The options are equal in their moral consequences. For example, there is a disastrous typhoon and the flood is continuously increasing. You need to evacuate the place with your mother and your wife, but there's only one life vest available. To whom will you give the life vest? Another type is self-imposed dilemma. It is a dilemma caused by the agent's wrongdoings. For example, Jay is running for the position of senator. During the campaign period, he promised to protect the natural forests of the people only to gain their votes. But at the same time, he asked financial help from a mining corporation. Luckily, Jay won as senator in the elections. Faced the dilemma of fulfilling his promise to the people and allows the mining corporation to destroy the forests. Concisely, he created a situation in which can be removed from both moral obligations. A world-imposed dilemma, on the other hand, means that certain events in the workplace the agent in a situation of ethical conflict. For example, this could be in times of war or financial crash. Another type is the obligation dilemma. It is a situation in which more than one possible action is obligatory. However, if an individual feels obliged to opt for several of the choices in front of them, still can only choose one. For example, in the movie Most, it tells the story of the close relationship between a bridge operator and his young son, and the fateful day when both try off an impending rail disaster. A steam train full of hundreds of passengers is unaware of the danger as it heads towards an open drawbridge. In short, the father chose to perform his duty and save many passengers than his son. However, the prohibition dilemma is the opposite of an obligation dilemma. The choices offered are all the same level, morally reprehensible or wrong. For instance, Today are many jobless because of the recession caused by COVID-19 pandemic. Marco is a father with 5 children. He wants to provide the needs of his family, but there's no vacancy in the job. He needs to decide snatching or fishing to earn a living, which is morally wrong. Another type is single agent dilemma. The moral agent requires acting on two or more equally the same ethical options, but she cannot choose both. For instance, a medical doctor found out that her patient has COVID-19. For sure, the medical doctor may experience tension between the legal requirement to report the case and the desire to respect confidentiality. While the Medical Code of Ethics acknowledges the obligation to follow legal requirements and to intervene to protect the vulnerable. In a multi-person dilemma, on the other hand, happens in a situation that involves several persons like family, an organization, or a community, expected to come up with a consensus decision on a moral issue at hand. The multi-person dilemma decisions are more than choosing what is right and requires that the person involved reach a consensus. For example, the GCQ lockdown includes the entire communities to come up with a consensus decision. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you and God bless. Bye.